George Lucas has a favorite Star Wars, The Clone Wars episode, and it reveals a lot about how the Star Wars creator perceives the saga. While George Lucas never actually directed or wrote a Clone Wars episode, the filmmaker envisioned the 3D animated series and was one of the main creative forces behind the show. With more than 100 episodes in its original run alone, Clone Wars allowed George Lucas to experiment, combine genres, and reference everything that had inspired Star Wars up until that point. Building upon the 2003 2D animated micro-series Star Wars, Clone Wars, Star Wars, The Clone Wars was released in 2005, first as a theatrical movie and then as a show. Clone Wars originally ran for 5 seasons on Cartoon Network, followed by The Lost Missions on Netflix and a final season on Disney+. An essential part of the Star Wars canon, Clone Wars continues to influence the saga to this day. From Darth Maul trying to conquer Mandalore to Yoda facing ancient lords of the Sith, Clone Wars offered more action and world-building than any Star Wars movie. However, George Lucas's favorite Clone Wars episode does not involve any Sith or Mandalorian. Instead, Lucas recalls A Sunny Day in the Void as his favorite Clone Wars episode, via YouTube. A droid-focused adventure that a lot of viewers may have deemed as skippable filler, A Sunny Day in the Void actually represents what Star Wars always meant to Lucas, a tale aimed at kids in which singular characters are the stars. George Lucas's favorite Clone Wars episode explained Clone Wars Season 5, Episode 11, A Sunny Day in the Void, is the second part of a 4-episode arc in which the main characters were astromech droids, including R2-D2. The D-Squad was put together by the Republic during the Clone Wars to perform a top-secret mission. Led by the Zilth General Meeber Gaskin, the D-Squad was to infiltrate a separatist ship and steal the enemy's decoding module. The droids were briefed by Mace Windu, but other than that, the Jedi had no role in the 4-episode arc. The same applies to the clones, which means those 4 episodes were mainly droid-focused. After Secret Weapons saw the D-Squad succeeding in their mission of stealing the separatist ship, A Sunny Day in the Void revealed that the team of droids didn't make it to Coruscant right away. In a very Star Wars, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace fashion, the D-Squad had to abandon their ship after an accident and land on a distant, desert planet, Abathur. Instead of a sandy desert like Tatooine and so many other planets in Star Wars, Abathur was mostly a void. R2-D2 and his new friends had to wander 4 hours through a vastness of nothing, which may sound very anticlimactic compared to the often action-packed Clone Wars episodes. Clone Wars droid episodes are secretly great. A Sunny Day in the Void, just like the other 3 episodes of the D-Squad arc, was not interested in grabbing the audience's attention with fast pacing or with non-stop action. Instead, it was a simple, unpretentious droid adventure that belongs on the list of Clone Wars episodes that were clearly aimed at kids. Although A Sunny Day in the Void was clearly inspired by George Lucas's first feature movie, TH-3-1138, the episode's visual references are just there to serve as a background for one of the many Clone Wars droids' adventures. A similar arc was Nomad Droids, in which R2-D2 and C-3PO crash on a distant planet and are met by a society of tiny creatures. Compared to Clone Wars' best moments, episodes like A Sunny Day in the Void and Nomad Droids may seem like low points of the show. However, the Clone Wars droid episodes are a great reminder of how Star Wars, at its very core, is a fantasy meets sci-fi adventure designed to amaze younger audiences with unique characters and creatures like the droids. The droid episodes in Clone Wars are not worried about world building nor moving the plot. Instead, they are close to experimental short films, which is almost a reflection of George Lucas's career. Lucas's favorite Clone Wars episode shows how he perceives Star Wars. During an interview for Chris Taylor's How Star Wars Conquered the Universe, George Lucas revealed that his Star Wars movies are told from the perspective of R2-D2, who Lucas believes to be the most important character of the saga. Indeed, R2-D2 and his faithful companion C-3PO were part of all three films in the original trilogy, all three in the Star Wars prequel trilogy, and were also present in the entirety of the Star Wars sequels. While deemed by many as comedy reliefs only, characters like R2-D2 and C-3PO exemplify what Lucas always believed, that Star Wars was for kids. Obviously, the saga resonated with audiences of all ages all over the world, but it is in its simplicity that Star Wars truly found its magic. That is something that episodes like A Sunny Day in the Void and Nomad Droids captured very well, and while they are far from being the best Star Wars, the Clone Wars episodes, they hold a lot of meaning to the history of the saga.